Hey everyone, it's Tim from Linessa Farms Specialty and Heirloom Livestock. Thanks for joining us again today. As always, feel free to check us out on our website at www.linessafarms.com. Send us an email at customerservice@linessafarms.com or give us a call at the number listed below. Today we're continuing our livestock health series talking about coyote management. As always, these videos are made specifically for you and to answer your questions. Thank you for watching our videos and we welcome your feedback. Don't forget to subscribe and we really appreciate those thumbs up. Without further delay, let's get started talking about coyote management. So I love getting emails and calls from you guys because as much as I rack my brain trying to come up with content for these videos, the best topics that I get most definitely come from you. This is a prime example of this. So I get an email from a guy named Craig in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and he brings up a fantastic point that I really haven't seen too much about out there, and that is this. So he sees a coyote out near his sheep and he shoots it. For years and years and years, he's never had a coyote problem. He sees one, he shoots one, and now all of a sudden he's got a coyote problem, and they're losing more lambs to coyotes than they've ever lost in the history of their farm. What is going on? And it may seem counterintuitive, but we see this happen time and time again. When I was a little guy and I worked for a gentleman that raised sheep, he told me, if you don't have a coyote problem, you don't shoot the coyotes. And he explained to me why. And once he explained to me why and I understood it, it made a whole lot of sense. So what am I going to do today? I'm going to talk to you about it. Before we get to the topic at hand, before I actually answer the email and tell you all what's going on, let's talk a little bit about coyotes. So coyotes are everywhere. They are in Alaska all the way down and now past the Panama Canal. How big are coyotes? Well, it's funny, here in Indiana, people are like, man, I saw a coyote and that thing was huge. It was like 80 pounds. No, it wasn't. Because we know that the largest coyote on record ever was killed in Wyoming and it weighed 75 pounds. What's reality? Reality is males come in at an average weight in the 30-pound range to 35-pound range. Females average a little bit less, maybe 28 to 32 pounds. The broad spectrum is males are 18 to 44 pounds and females are 15 to 40. A lot has to do with their size, depending on what they're going to eat and where they're located. But I digress. The coloring of the coyotes is light gray to red, so we get a lot of people also here in Indiana that say, man, I saw a wolf. No, you didn't. You saw a coyote, but it's understandable. They do look a lot alike, but they are not nearly as large as you would think they are. What is their ability? How high can they jump? You know, I'm going to put up a 5-foot fence. Is it going to keep them out? No, absolutely not. So a coyote can jump a 5-foot fence. And when I say jump a 5-foot fence, I mean they can clear it without even touching it. A 6-7 foot tall fence, they can lay a paw on it to propel themselves over and get over a 7-foot fence with no problem whatsoever. If you check it out like on YouTube or search for videos, there's plenty of people out there that have videos of these animals just, I mean, it's unbelievable to watch these coyotes just clear a 7-foot fence with basically no effort whatsoever. So coyotes do live in packs, that is true. Sometimes their pack size can be as low as just a couple, other times it can be as high as 10, but generally their pack is made up of 2 alpha individuals, which is usually the mom and the dad, and then the other ones that you see are generally their offspring, either from the previous year or from the actual year that you're seeing them. Every once in a while a stray male can get in there with them, but once breeding season comes around they tend to leave. Now when they hunt, coyotes actually tend to hunt alone. This pack area tends to be about 2 to 4 miles square, and they go off on their own. They do their hunting. Mom will bring back food to young ones if she needs to, depending on their age. Dad tends to hunt on his own, and the others tend to hunt on their own. So what do they hunt? Well, they hunt what's as easy to get as possible. So if you live in an area that's got tons of rabbits or tons of mice, muskrats, things that are smaller, garbage that people leave out, these are the things that they're going to want to go for. They want to expend as little amount of energy as possible to get the most amount of food. What's going to be easier for them? Is it going to be easier for them to catch a rabbit? Well, yeah. I mean, I've got barn cats that catch rabbits, for crying out loud. Is it going to be easy for them to jump a 7-foot electrified fence to go in and challenge my 350-pound Columbia Ram? Probably not. So a lot of it, they learn as they go, and they're going to learn, hey, this is the easiest thing to get this time of the year. This is what we're going to go, this time of year. When you start to see them travel in packs and you start to see them trying to take down large animals, it's usually middle of winter and the food supply is extremely scarce. Otherwise, chances are, even if you raise livestock such as sheep and goats, you're never going to see one, you're never going to lose a goat or a sheep to a coyote, because it's just not advantageous for them to do so. Free-range chickens, barn cats, that's a completely different subject. So if you get free-range chickens that are out there, they're gone. Good as gone, guaranteed. Ducks, things of that nature, we lose them all the time here on our farm. We lose barn cats, we lose free-range chickens, we lose ducks. They're easy to get. They're too easy for them to get, and it is just something that naturally happens here, and we really can't stop it. We see our free-range chickens, the smart ones stay close in and they don't go out too far, and then we get other ones that like to go on these 1-mile treks. You can barely see them from the property. They're out in the field, and they're just setting themselves up for it. But as far as losing the sheep and the goats, it's never happened here. We have never once, knock on wood, had even a lamb or a goat kid get attacked by a coyote. Now, why is that? Well, because the coyotes that are in our area have enough food that they can get elsewhere that's easier for them to get, and so they don't go after them. The other thing is that coyotes are just like people. You have this wide range of personalities, and it depends on the demeanor of the coyotes. And so that's what we're ultimately getting to in this video, is we're talking about in this case, we got our friend Craig up here in Kalamazoo, and Craig says, hey, I never had a coyote problem, and I killed one, and now all of a sudden I've got a coyote problem. What is going on? Well, Craig, what's going on is you had a well-behaved coyote, alpha male or female, that was content with where they were. They were content with what they were getting because they knew where the rabbits were and they knew where they could get food, and so they were content with doing that. They weren't going to expend the energy to go after something big. And now that you killed that animal, another coyote has come in to replace him or her, and guess what? They are hungry, you have food, they do not have the same demeanor that the last one had, and now you're in trouble. So that is what we're talking about. You need to be careful. If you have coyotes in your area and you've never had a problem with them, my advice to you, and a lot of other people that have been in this situation will tell you, leave them alone. If you lose a couple cats a year, if you lose a couple free-range chickens a year, then so be it. But you gotta weigh your options here, and guaranteed, if you shoot a coyote, they will be replaced by another coyote, and that one may be worse than the one that you just got rid of. So I understand what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, that's all fine and dandy, but now I have a problem. So what do I do? We've talked about what not to do, how to try to at least prevent a problem from occurring, but what do I do if I have a problem? Well, as we said, a fence, it ain't gonna cut it, and I don't care what anyone tells you. I'm here to tell you, you know, high tensile electric fence, woven wire fences, barbed wire, I've seen it all. It just does not work. They can jump it, they can get through it, and they will. So I really feel, and I feel like I got the backing of a lot of people here, the best thing to do is to get some kind of livestock guardian animal. Get a livestock guardian dog. I would highly recommend, I really feel like the best one out there is probably the Great Pyrenees. They have the best overall demeanor. They do a really good job. Probably the next one that you would want to look at would be something like a Commodore, a little bit more aggressive of an animal, but still do a really good job. If you can't get a dog and you still want something that's going to do a good job for you, I think the next best thing would probably be a donkey. And here on our farm, we actually use llamas, and alpacas work as well from what I've been told. So that's what I would consider, and that's what I would recommend. If you go through to where you're having some kind of a problem, you're gonna want to move to some kind of livestock guardian animal, because just shooting them is not going to do the job for you, guaranteed, and trying to fence them out is not going to work either. As always, we hope that this video segment was helpful to you. Don't forget to follow us at Linessa_Farms on Instagram. And if you have any questions for us, please reach out to us. As a reminder, these videos are made specifically for you, and we answer your questions as much as we possibly can. See you next time.